So welcome everybody, welcome inside the Air 24 into the Formula 1. Let's go for one lap in Zolder. It's not an easy track for a Formula 1 car just because there is no grip on the track. It's a bit dusty and the car is sliding right to left all the time. It's a bit difficult to do 5-time laps like that just because we didn't set up the car for this track, and it's a little bit hard into tires and into the engine. We hope we did a good. We gave some good fun for the people around the track. It's quite nervous around the curbs and around the chicane because you have to hit the curbs to cut the chicane, and it's a little bit difficult with this kind of car. But it was quite nice to drive on those old style circuit, and the first lap was quite okay because I still had the grip from the tires, but after that you can see the car is sliding and oversteering quite a lot, exit of the chicane and into powers. So hope you had some good fun, and we try to do it again today.
So a warm welcome once again to the Zolder circuit in Belgium for the second race, 27 laps and a pit stop around this tight and twisty circuit, one of the most famous in the world, of course, made famous back in the 60s and 70s for Formula 1. That no longer takes place here, but this is without doubt the closest thing to it. It's a brand new era of motor racing for international motor racing, and the fans have flocked to Zolder. There was 50,000 here last year, and I reckon you could put another 20, maybe 30 on it this year. They've given a lot of tickets away, but such is the interest in Belgium of motor racing that they have come in their throngs to see this brand new concept of racing where they, the crowd, are involved. They get a chance to meet the drivers, they get a chance to be in the pits, to be in the paddock, and it's very unusual, and it is absolutely packed here. There is one bridge from the pit lane to the commentary booth, and we almost got stuck in that, trying to get here to bring you the second race. With me, alongside me, is Wesley Barber from Great Britain, who is currently taking part in the Euro Cup 2-litre Renault series. And Wesley, it's a heck of an atmosphere here, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I've never known anything quite like it. Like you said, I came over here, and it literally took me to get across the bridge, just across the track, for about 20 minutes. There's so many people. It's just unbelievable.
Well, the second race coming up, and of course the first one won by Enrico Toccacello, and he is a little bit more concerned about the second race because this man, Will Power from Carling Motorsport, will be taking part. Will had a drive shaft problem on the formation lap of race 1 and couldn't get going, was assisted and therefore black flagged. During this time, he set the fastest lap of the race, which I don't think will count for the fastest lap, simply because he'd been black flagged before it actually took place. There are 2 points for a black flag, and that's what he was in pursuit of, but it wasn't to be. Toccacello lines up behind him. Now, how much difference, Wesley, you've raced here this weekend, how much difference will it be not being on pole to be in second place?
Oh, quite a lot here because of the way the track is, and you get a lot of dust on the circuit. So you know, any advantage that you can get into the first corner is worth having. And the problem is with these cars, because they look so good and they're a bit big for this circuit almost. You know, there's some of the chicanes and stuff like that. They really look like they're taking up most of the circuit. So I imagine for one of these cars, it's extremely difficult to overtake. So you want every advantage that you can possibly get.
Temperatures have gone up since Saturday, and it's a lot hotter out there, and everyone complaining about just how slippy it is. Here is Will Power on track, taking pole position, and he did it with a cracking time of 1:18.3, and that effectively is a new lap record here. And the Formula 1 car, perhaps the only thing faster, but not that much faster, I may add. It's about 1:15 we heard. But Will Power, relatively unheard of, but I say in this field of ex-V6 and ex-World Series by Nissan, but I'm sure you're familiar with him from Formula 3 and seen him racing in England.
Yeah, I've seen him. I've never raced against Will, but you know, you hear good things about him, and you know, he's with a good team there, Carling. I know them from the UK as well. So and ultimately, I think it just shows, you know, you get a good driver, you get a good team, and you know, you can get the results.
Toccacello, runner-up in the international FIA Formula 3000 Championship last year, and he, of course, won the first race. I'm looking at this man here, who's been the big surprise of the weekend, And let's see where he's lining up for this race.
Third.
Jaap van Lagen. Now, he's got a new set of tyres. They get 3 sets of tyres for the weekend, and I think that could be very important indeed. I was talking to Tristan Gomende, who lines up 6th on the grid, 3rd here last year, and he too has a new set of tyres. So watch out for those two early on. They are very confident about their chances in this second race. Good crowd here. How did you get on in the 2-litre series in the Euro Cup?
Yeah, it went really well actually. We were pleased. We got second in the first race. You know, it's all new to us again. We've joined this series from doing the UK, and there's an awful lot of changes and things you got to get used to. And we didn't have quite as good qualifying as we hoped with the Comtech team, but you know, we got second, and that was pretty much the best result we could have hoped for. I think from 5th on the grid. Right
place to be for you at this time in your career?
I believe so. You know, Renault have got these series now that look extremely good. You know, this World Series is just taking everything by storm. Everybody you speak to in motorsport is like, what's happening with this World Series? You know, it seems to be sort of a mini Formula One weekend, really. You know, there's so many people, you've got so much interest. I think I couldn't be in a better place, really.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can impress easily the team managers like the Pons and the Carlins of this world if you're in front of them and racing in front of them each weekend, and of course mixing them with them on a regular basis. Yeah, you're quite right, it is almost a mini Formula One, but the big difference, of course, is that Renault are the key to all of it. It's a first time that a brand or a manufacturer has stepped up this far to completely take over a race weekend, and I have to say they have done it with absolute aplomb. It is brilliantly organised. There are events for every kind of folk, whether it be motorheads like ourselves or just kids playing in the playgrounds. They've developed that for them. The simulators of Formula One. Frank Montagnier, the young French former winner of this championship, or the Nissan Championship, did a demonstration of the Formula One car that Alonso has already won 3 of the races with. So it's a bit of a Renault fest at the moment, and quite in terms of the timing, it couldn't be better for Renault as a manufacturer, given how well they're doing in Formula One. But this weekend really is a celebration, not just of Renault, of motorsport, and I think that's the key, as I said before, that the crowd are allowed anywhere they want. It's almost like a mini Indy cars or a mini World Superbikes in that inclusion part of it, and I think that's exciting. Have you met a few folk this weekend?
Yeah, we were outside the awning. We've got an autograph stand, and you know, Pippa and myself have been flat out this morning with just people, and it's just, like I said, it's just fantastic. I've never known so many people to be in one place at one time, and you know, the atmosphere is just fantastic. You couldn't ask for a better weekend, really. The sun, everything, it's just fantastic.
And your ambition, eventually, perhaps, to get into the World Series?
Yeah, the complete team wants to move up to the World Series. Comtech as a unit, we were trying to get into it this year, and there just wasn't enough slots. It was oversubscribed, and you know, we're looking next year to progress into World Series.
Who do you look up to? Is there anybody either on this grid or even further up in perhaps Formula One that you kind of, I wouldn't say model yourself, but perhaps want to try and kind of live your life that way? Because it is a way of life. There's no choice in it. You're doing it 24 hours a day, and I think some people think you show up and put your helmet on and look good and put the sunglasses on and get on with it. I know that you're doing this pretty much round the clock.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's very difficult to aspire to anybody in racing, because everybody has such a different upbringing and background through racing. But I mean, to be honest, there's only really at the moment one person to aspire to, and that's Schumacher, you know, because of what he's done and the way he goes about it. But like I said, every driver here will have a different story, and some of the drivers on Formula One, you know, it's sometimes have a bit of luck, sometimes they're a fantastic driver, sometimes there's so many different characteristics that can make you get into Formula One, and it's just really being about in the right place at the right time. I think you could pretty much put 100 drivers in Formula One, because there's so many good drivers out there, but it's just the ones that get the complete package sorted out, really.
You say everybody has a different story. You're quite right, but it's interesting, the ladder to success, to get to Toccacello's position or Will Power's position today. Let's take your story, for example. I think I met you at La Fillier in France when you were about 15 or so.
Yeah, 16,
yeah, starting out in the Formula Campus.
That's right, yeah.
Where did you go from there, and how did it progress?
Well, I won the Campus Series in France. From then, I got a drive in B-Class Formula 3 in France as well. And just run out of money halfway through the season. You know, it was almost like I was too successful too quick, because I couldn't get the backing and so far. And then I came back to England. You know, had a rough year there with Formula 3, and basically after that started from scratch again. So I did Formula 4. You know, I won that championship. I did Formula Renault. you know, the year before I did America, then I did Formula Renault in the UK, and then I've come into the Euro Series. So I'm on the up again. You know, I had to start from scratch, which is very difficult to halfway through your career. But you know, it's I think, you know, the team I'm with now is great, and you know, I look forward to every race.
Well, we're looking forward to this race with a lot of interest. Kubica and Gomende, watch out for both of them. Very strong was Tristan Gomende, who came from 9th all the way up to 4th last time out. And, of course, he's 6th for this one. Paganio, fellow Frenchman, is in 9th position. Portiero, he had a good race, his 10th. Thomas Koska, spoke to him. He had a rough time with traffic. And he's hoping for better out of this one. And, of course, pit stops will make a difference. Rui Fukuda, now, watch out for Rui Fukuda, because he's 16th, and he was in the top 5 in the last race and holding position. Likewise, Salignon, I've been disappointed with him, 18th position. Chandok, Karun Chandok, 20th on the grid for this race, and made it through to 13th last time out. Maldonado didn't finish the race, won. Disappointing for Mondini. It's been a rotten weekend for him. And for Vish, we saw the young Belgium, just 18 years of age, and talking about a baptism of fire, how do you fancy a go what he's going? 18, and he's never been out of karts, straight into this.
Yeah, well, I think he's probably, you know, been a little bit ambitious. You know, there's ultimately a car's a car, but you know, with these type of cars, you know, with people like Will Power and Jack Van Lagen, they've done so much experience that they're going to have a big advantage over him until he gets used to the car and the tracks and everything.
Who's your money on for this one?
I think it's got to be Will. You know, after literally, you know, having a problem with his car, coming back in, setting fastest lap.
Yeah, he's angry, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to be wanting to show people that, you know, he should have won the first race. And you know, I think, I mean, I don't know how the pit stops play it. That should be, I think, going to be the big sort of story, I think, of this race. But I think probably on pace, Will Power will be the chap. Yeah,
we'll talk about the tactics of that in a minute, because that is probably the most interesting part of what we're about to see. But you're right, Will Power, just in case you've just joined us, Will Power did not start the first race. He got no points for that, was qualified 4th on the grid. He had a drive shaft break on him on the formation lap, was assisted by the marshals to get going, and then got sorted out and got into the race, but was black flagged because of that assistance, and ironically took the fastest lap of 1:20.3, and that probably won't count for his 2 points. We'll see. That hasn't actually come out the shuffle in terms of the stewards yet, but we might hear from Trevor Carlin later. But there are 2 points for fastest lap and a point for pole position as well, so there's plenty of points out there, and of course 15 for a win. This is only the second race. There are 9 rounds. We go all round Europe, and it's Monaco next. And I'm sure you'd relish the opportunity to do that, wouldn't you?
Oh, I think any driver would relish to go to Monaco, you know, just for once. But I'm off to Pau next week, so you know, I'm doing a street circuit as well, but not quite as prestigious as the Monaco Grand Prix.
No, nothing wrong with Pau though. That's a great race. That's been going for a long time too. And as you say, it's a mini.
It is.
Monaco.
Yeah, it's a Formula 3 Grand Prix. The Euro Series is that's who's there. So they call it the Grand Prix of Pau. So you know, but it's a fabulous place. I've been there once before in campus, and yeah, it's fantastic.
What about Macau?
I've been to Macau, but you know, I've never driven there, and anybody that I speak to just says what a fabulous place it is. It's just mind-blowing going through some of the streets that are just wide enough just to get an F3 car through. So it's just they say it's great.
Yeah, you're coming to an exciting time in your career in terms of when you get to go to the top international circuits and race them and see how well you can do everything, because it is. Sometimes it's the individual against the circuit, never mind about taking on the competitors.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we're looking forward to. Everybody's talking about Bilbao, the street circuit, because I think that's going to be very, very good as well. We've got a flyover on that one, so I think everybody's got a bit worried and looking forward to it at the same time, I think.
Now let's talk about the tactics. As we said, this is a 27-lap race, and there will be an automatic pit stop for everybody involved, a mandatory pit stop, I should say. And that means you can choose any time you want to take that pit stop. And tactically, that'll make it interesting, because Tocacello is a long way ahead on the grid than Andreas Zuber. And all of the drivers have that choice of when they come in. And the teammate will probably be the first in. And if Tocacello wants to take an early pit stop because he's got no traffic, then he might do so. If not, he might stay out there for as long as he wants. They come in, they change 2 tyres, any 2, the 2 front, the 2 rear, or the 2 left, 2 right, whichever. And again, so a few more tactics coming in, and the teams play their part too. Now, some of the drivers you're watching on display here haven't done pit stops. The V6 guys didn't do them, so that's going to be interesting too.
Yeah, definitely. As we've been testing for the last couple of days, they've been all practicing pit stops. We've been seeing them in there. And most of them are saying they changed the front tyres, but I would have thought around here you'd want to change the rear tyres because it's the rear ones that let go before the front. But, you know, we'll just have to play that one by ear.
So then on the formation lap, Jonathan Green and Wesley Barber bringing you the second race of the World Series from Renault from the Zolder circuit in Belgium. And a brilliant race won by Enrico Toccacello of Italy for Victory Engineering. And he lines up second on the grid. Will Power had no real part in race one. The Australian from Queensland, disappointed, had drive shaft problems on the formation lap of the first race. But he is here. There he is, number 4 in pole position. Toccacello looking confident. Spoke to him after the race, and main worry he had was braking and how slippy the track was. He is a little bit concerned that he's not getting the brakes down and shifting too. They've all got paddle shifters, and Wes, I don't know how much that affects it, but again, they're getting used to that idea. But some of them have had problems with shifting up, some of them had problems with shifting down. It's all a learning experience.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like you said, the cars are brand new. They're so quick, and they've got a few extra mods, like you said, this paddle shift, and you know, they're having a few problems. Some cars seem to be running fine. You know, I think it's just that old story. You know, you just get some good ones and some not so good ones, and it just depends. It's just pot of luck who gets it. And you know, speaking to a couple of teams, you know, every time they go out, there's a slight glitch here, a slight glitch there, which Renault and you know, are just working at, and they're pretty much getting it fixed, I think.
Now, you've raced the circuit this weekend. Tactically, I'll put you in, let's say, Toccacello's position or anywhere in the top 4. How are you tactically going to play this in the first lap? And obviously, you see what happens as it pans out in front of you. But do you have a plan on the grid to attack in one particular place?
Well, I mean, obviously, through the time and everything, we get our sectors. There's 3 sectors, so you're going to have an idea of where you're quick and where you're not so quick. So for Toccacello, he probably will be able to think, well, you know, I'm much quicker than Will, you know, in the second sector or whatever. But so much to have in a plan, I don't think you can really do that. You know, it's just the first thing is the first hurdle is getting off the start line and keeping your position. Never mind trying to overtake somebody, and then if you're in that position to overtake, then you know, you just have to just really play it by ear. The track will be dusty, even if there hasn't been any wind or anything. As soon as cars stop going round, you know, it gets really dusty. So it's really sort of, you know, just finding your feet.
Power, Toccacello, Jaap van Lagen, Adrien Valeth, Robert Kubica, Tristan Gomandy of France. Marcus Winkelhock, watch out for him. He's got clean tyres and he's ready to go as well. He had a rotten first race. Christian Montanari is alongside him. We're about to get underway for race 2 of the World Series from Renault. Will Power on pole position on the right-hand side of your screen. Will try and dive to the outside if he can to hold off the challenge of Toccacello, who won the first race. It's going to be a cracking start, and that first left-hander, all important.
They're still coming.
Still coming to fill up the grid. It's a massive grid. 28 cars in all, 2 missing because of the qualifying crashes.
Here we go. They're giving the thumbs up at the back.
So the revs go up. The lights come on, and when they go out, a little bit of creeping there by Toccacello, and Will Power was caught completely without power. Unbelievable start from Toccacello. He takes the lead into the first corner. Will Power recovers just, but I have a feeling that could have been a little bit too much creeping from Toccacello. Your thoughts?
I don't know. I didn't really. I was watching Will. I thought he'd stalled it, and you know, I've heard there's a big problem with the clutches. There's no feel at all. So maybe, you know, he just made a mistake there. But yeah, he was caught sleeping. He was a mile off.
We talked about the fact that the steering wheel with the paddles has the clutch on as well, and a lot of people still getting used to that, and it may well have caught Will Power out, but he's in second place at the moment. He's got Jaap van Lagen all over the back of him in third place. Valles is fourth. Kubica starts fifth. Christian Gomandy still in sixth. Winkelhock seventh, and Pagano in eighth position. Portiero ninth. Zuber down in 10th place, then Koska. But a good start from Toccacello, a cracking start from Toccacello, but Will Power, what was he thinking? He either bogged off the line or Toccacello got away too quick. We'll soon find out. But Van Lagen all over the back at the moment of Toccacello. I mean, of Will Power. He's in second place.
Yeah, them two, Power and Van Lagen, they definitely look like they put the hammer down now. They've definitely got angry from either making a mess up at the start, because I'm certain Jaap van Lagen is thinking he should have been in second by now.
Into the Jackie X curve then, and out of the last corner, and down the straight they come. field starting to spread out already. Winkelhock looking at the inside in the all-yellow car, going through in 7th position. Dominic just ahead of him, so good battle between those two. Oh, and dust flying up there, and that's really sticky and slippery out there when that dust comes up, isn't it?
Definitely. As soon as anybody puts a wheel off, they shatter stones and everything, and it's not very pleasant on the circuit at all.
So then, good start from Toccacello again, and just what he needed. And this is the worst possible scenario for Will Power, because he needs to challenge Toccacello early. Over the hill they come then, and down towards the Villeneuve chicane. This circuit made so famous, of course, by the loss of Gilles Villeneuve, and went past the plaque earlier this weekend. Pay your respects to one of the greatest drivers of all time, and of course all of these young men want to emulate Formula One drivers past and present. And Toccacello this weekend has certainly looked like every bit a future Formula One driver.
Yeah, Will's a lot quicker, especially the middle section of the track. He's caught him up again. He's right on him.
He's right there.
Yeah.
It was half a second before, but as you can see,
he's
very close indeed at this point as they head out of the last corner again and across the line. Will Power is starting to catch. Jaap van Lagen still in 3rd place, but the battle is definitely now between Toccacello and Will Power of Australia. The Italian and the Australian going for it, the Dutchman just behind, and then Spaniard and a Pole, and the Frenchman in 6th, Tristan Gomendy. Winkelhock still 7th. Lap times, 1:23.1 from Toccacello, a 1:22.9, so 3/10 quicker, so that gives you every indication. And in fact, Will Power, the fastest man out there at the moment.
Yeah, no, that looks very good. You know, it's just looking. It's very difficult there. The first part of the circuit, he looks a little bit slower than Toccacello, but the second half, he's definitely quicker. But like I was saying on the sectors, you know, Toccacello obviously knew that was going to be the place where he had to get him, and you know, give him his due. He got a fly of the start, a perfect start, and in the lead now.
Will Power driving, of course, for Trevor Carlin and the Carlin Motorsport team, who have had huge success. Runner-up, of course, with Thiago Monteiro last year, but of course Trevor now running the Jordan F1, soon to be the Jordan or Midland F1 team, and of course he's taken 2 men out of this championship, Narain Karthikeyan and Thiago Monteiro, who are his Formula One drivers now. So not a bad place to impress. Trevor Carlin is in one of his cars in this championship.
Oh, definitely. You know, Trevor's here this weekend. You know, it shows what a good team manager he is. You know, and look at overseeing everything, and he definitely he will be expecting Will to win. You know.
Nice new drill, Steve. Quality is that?
Yeah. You won't believe the price I got it for either. I didn't notice you popping out for all that kit, John.
That's because I had it delivered. Only ordered it last night at 5 to 6.
What are you reading, Nick?
The Screwfix Direct catalogue is the tradesman's secret that's too good to share. Call 0800 68 78 88 now for your free copy.
Has your car insurance gone up this year? Yeah, I bet it has. With elephant.co.uk, you could save loads. I did. You see, elephant.co.uk are the first internet-only insurer, which means their costs are lower, which means you could save even more money on your car insurance. So check out elephant.co.uk now. It's simple, it's easy, it's fast. It's elephant.co.uk. Remember, elephant.co.uk. Check it out.
Lovely new house, John.
Oh, thanks very much. Business is going well at the moment.
New car on the drive?
Oh, you saw it. Yeah, I bought it for the missus recently. Yeah, Dave, you haven't got satellite, have you?
Not yet, no.
You've got to get it. It's fantastic. There's over 400 channels.
Yeah, I knew that.
Here, I'll turn it up. You can watch it properly.
Just when did you advertise on national television?
Oh, we've been doing it for a couple of months now. And things are going really well.
Bet that was loads of hassle.
No, not at all. It was really easy.
But you still can't beat good old-fashioned radio and press.
Well, do you know what? I thought I'd give TV a go. And it's definitely working.
So go on then. How much was that?
Well, actually, it was a lot less than you think. For about £5,000, I got all this airtime, and they even made the ad.
So why'd you choose that channel then?
Well, look at it. I think it's the right one to reach the customers.
Think I will stick into the good old-fashioned ways, John?
Well, that's as maybe, Dave. But you've got to get with the time someday.
So go on then, John. Who made it for you?
I got in touch with a company called Digital Media Sales.
Really? Do you mind if I pop into the garden for some fresh air?
Hi, I'm Martin Truex Jr., driver of the Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet. Watch NASCAR Busch Series action on Motors TV.
Definitely in the midsection, it seems, of the lap.
Yeah.
He spreads out on the faster parts of the track in the long straight. In front of the commentary position, he definitely gets a bit of a gap out of the last, gets plenty of drive out of the last corner, but Will's able to catch him.
Yeah, definitely. That middle section, he looks very, very strong indeed. There we go, 2 more. I think that's Winkelhock and...
Yeah, Winkelhock is in then. So we're all waiting for the big boys. Robert Kubica is another man to pit, so that makes it interesting. Winkelhock and Kubica come in together. Oh, and that's a real big loss for Will Power. He just went way too hard into Bianchi and just couldn't hold it on the exit. We said it was slippy. And Wesley Barber, tell me what you thought. Will Power, his mistake?
Well, you know, from where we were looking at it, yes, it does look like his mistake. He just ran a little bit wide into there, but until you see it completely, you just don't know. That'd be a great shame for him. You know, he was looking strong there. You know, he's just started to pull it back off Tocacello, and it's looking good.
Well, these are very slow pit stops by the looks of things, because they're still in there at the moment. I'm looking down in front of us. It's Matteo Meneghello, I think, who's down there, but he's having a long time of it. Now, Van Lagen's got a chance now of catching up, but Tocacello out front and with clean air. Now, when does he make his break? When does he come in? He's still got to come in. Comes out of the last corner, and now he'll know on his board, because they'll tell him that Will Power has disappeared. But Van Lagen's on the move as well. The young Dutchman just was almost a second quicker than Tocacello that last lap out. So Van Lagen is really moving. Yep, Van Lagen, remember his name. Hasn't raced much at this level, although he did win 2 races in Formula 4 here at the Zolder circuit, and was quite confident about racing it again, even though he'd not raced it at this level.
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, like you said, it's like riding a bike. You know, once you can do it once, you know, you can do it again. And he's a good driver. He's rated as a good driver, and you know, he should be able to do it well.
Andreas Zuber comes into the pit, and obviously with Will Power going off, he can pit when he wants. And Tocacello continues to lead. Now we wait for his pit stop. Remember, everyone has to make a mandatory pit stop in this second race here in the World Series by Renault. 121.4. Still the fastest lap from Tocacello. And there's that gap, yeah.
He's definitely closing it now. So he's, you know, Tocacello had a nice gap there, and you know, he's let it go. It's almost like he's eased up. He's seen Will go off, and you know, just got a little bit out from his rhythm almost. You know, so. But that could have been him actually putting dirt on the circuit. Maybe he made a mistake and Will Power has paid for it.
Now, Kubica, Winkelhock and Bassini, the first 2 men to come into the pits, or certainly the top contenders, are currently in 15th position at the moment. And Zuber and Paganino, the 2 Frenchmen, and the Austrian have also pitted. But Van Lagen is where all eyes are at the moment, and he's been the surprise package, really, of the weekend. No one expected to see him in the top 6, I don't think. And I don't think he expected to be there, but he's equipped himself brilliantly. And he's right there, and as you can see, definitely in pursuit now of Tocacello. And it's going to be very interesting to see when either of these blinks effectively and takes that pit stop, because now the team managers and the whole team become a factor in all of this.
Yeah, definitely. Now it's almost going to be a race between the teams, see who does the better job, and you know, we just have to wait and see.
Still waiting for others. Here's Adrian Valles of Pons Racing, Cito Pons' team. They know all about their pit stops. They're very experienced, and they'll be choosing the right moment for him, because he, of course, at the moment is in 3rd position. Behind him is Portiero, then Thomas Koska. So Koska's got up there, but of course he too has not pitted. None of the top 10 have yet to pit. Early days here, 18 laps of the 27 to go.
Fastest lap, Kubica, who's just pitted. So
Kubica, having got the fresh tyres on the back, probably puts in a 121.4. And remember, a couple of points for the fastest lap, so it's important. Another pit stop coming in.
Like an Epicillium car, I think.
Yep. Epsilon Iscardi.
Portiero.
Yeah, Portiero coming in from 5th place. And so now it's the top 4 who haven't pitted. Back to the lead then.
I think
the gap coming down, and look how close Van Lagen is at the moment. Great racing because he's all over the back of Tocacello as they go over the crest down towards the Gilles Villeneuve chicane. And Tocacello has got a handful now of the Dutchman. And look at Tocacello out of shape there. He needs to pit, really.
It's not looking very well at all. He's definitely, you know, maybe pushed a little bit too hard at the early stages, and his car looks to be oversteering quite a lot, and not. I bet it's not very nice to drive at all.
Well, that gap doesn't really show what's physically happening on the track, because it's coming down by the second, heading down towards the last turn, the Jackie X chicane.
You know,
nice and smooth through that. There's the 3rd place man. That's Valdez. Somebody else stuck on track.
I think.
And he is out of the car, but that won't affect the racing line. But across come the leaders then. A 122.4, exactly the same time as they dive 4th gear into the 1st corner. Down towards Sellenwak. The 2nd corner, still in 4th gear, and then back through the gears, through Canal Bocht here. Down towards Bianchi, which is, of course, where Will Power got it all wrong. Went too wide and lost. Well, he lost the race, effectively, because he was doing brilliantly up until then. Now, these two, in a race of their own, they're some 5.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, and yet to pit. So this whole race depends on when these two pit and who comes out of it best.
To be honest, with Tocacello, I think if I was in his shoes, I'd just keep out there as long as I possibly can, because, you know, Jaap van Lagen's going to, as soon as he gets some clear air, he's going to just go off into the distance. So the longer that he can keep him behind him, it's got to be, it's the better he can. I know it's going to be a nightmare for him, but you know, he's just got to drive that car and make sure he just keeps it on the island for the next sort of probably 4 or 5 laps, really.
It's a double-edged sword, because we saw last year Tristan Gomendy tried to do exactly that. He stayed out almost to the penultimate lap, got in, and then found himself in all sorts of trouble and got overtaken.
Yeah, sure.
It can happen. Kubik is still going strong. He's 10th position at the moment, the 122.8 he's running in, and most of the top contenders are 121.1 by Tristan Gomendy. 21.7 by Tristan Gomendy. Very quick indeed. He's still in 6th place and was very confident. But look at Van Lagen now, the Dutchman. All over Tocacello, the Italian. And this is great racing. Jaap van Lagen doing a great job with 15 laps to go. Valed of Spain still 4th, and Koska did an excellent job. Thomas Koska is up to 4th at the moment. Miguez is in 5th position. Another Spaniard. And then it's Tristan Gomendy and Maldonado in 7th. Over the hill they go then. Flat out. And then hard on the brakes and into 2nd gear for this chicane, the Gilles Villeneuve chicane. Back on the power as quickly as possible. And we saw, you see it again. We saw Tocacello getting out of shape there. And look how quickly he's caught up now.
Van Lagen into the hairpin here. This he might even get a go here. He's half defended, really, you know, just to keep him behind.
And somebody's out. Dust and dirt and gravel, but that's going nowhere.
No, Pond's car.
Now, the gap seems to increase now from this part of the track as they head out of this last corner. Van Lagen can't stay with him. Tocacello then crosses the line. He does a 122.5, and they're on identical times, and Van Lagen is looking ever closer to him now. Out of the 2nd corner they come, 4th gear. Through the gears they go again, heading down towards the almost flat out Bianchi Cirque corner, the right-hander.
He's really close this lap. He looks a lot closer.
Can you overtake going into the first chicane, which is coming up in about a moment?
Not really. You know, you wouldn't want to be doing it now. You know, you might do it at a last lap effort, but you've got to be in front of them, really. You can't overtake, because one car isn't going to get round, 2 cars aren't going to get round that corner. You know, it's a real sort of, it's a kink that really you can't overtake at all.
Adrian Van is biding his time. He too will be thinking about, with the Pons team, when he can make his pit stop. Van Lagen's so close. This is the sector he gets so close to Tocacello, and every lap it's the same. Tocacello just seeming to be out of shape and not able to get the grip down. Van Lagen very close again. Just 2 corners to go to the end of this lap. Yellow flags being waved in front of them. But again, he gets good drive out of that last corner and into the last chicane, Jackie Hicks. Oh, and he comes to pits then. So then, oh no, and a huge shunt there. Well, just as Van Lagen comes in to take his pit stop, we also see a massive shunt. Tocacello then out on his own. He puts in a 1:22.9. No pressure from him, but Van Lagen now has chosen to take his pit. And in comes 14, the Dutchman. Remember, he has not done a pit stop. This is his first ever.
This is definitely going to be. I think this is going to make the race. If you know whoever's going to win this is on this pit stop. I think if Tocacello's teams are on the ball, they'll probably call him in straight away to get him out.
Well, Van Lagen's not done a pit stop. Oh, we've got in front of the car in front of them just then, but Van Lagen's not done a pit stop. But KTR, the team from Belgium, remember, they have, and they've got lots of experience. Kurt Molliken's team doing a brilliant job of getting him in and out. So then, Tocacello leads this race. Van Lagen did a good job of getting out quickly and neatly, and now it's all up to Tocacello.
You know, you might even find Tocacello actually goes a little bit quicker now. You know, now he's not got any pressure on him in a sense. You know, he can just get back into his rhythm and see what happens.
Well, he's definitely under a lot of pressure at the back of the circuit for sure.
But the pit lane is going to be very, very busy now. All of a sudden, it looks like that most of the field have come in on these last couple of laps. So we'll just have to wait and see what he does.
Interesting tactic from Karun Chandok. He's up to 5th place now, and that's the highest he's been all weekend. And he's yet to pit, though, of course, and likewise, nor too has Adrian Valle. Tocacello crosses the line then, and he hasn't pitted this time, so he's staying out there, and he does. Well, he actually goes slower this time.
Yeah,
1:23.3.
He's really got to pick up the pace, I'd imagine.
Dusty on the outside of there. It's very, very dirty here at the Zolder circuit. They have motocross just in the background there, and it throws up a lot of dirt and very slippy. We saw a couple of drivers going off there last time. And Valles in 2nd place, he too hasn't pitted, so the last two almost, except for Chandok. So 3 more drivers of the top men have yet to pit. And at the moment, it's Tocacello, Valles, Chandok in 3rd now, ahead of Van Lagen.
Oh, look, Kubica's
up, yeah, he's been putting in the laps, and Kubica's up in 4th place now, 1:21.6. And this is the glory of having a pit stop like this, because you just don't know for a moment who's actually putting the fastest laps in and actually doing not in traffic. But I can tell you that Kubica's on it, and so too is Winkelhock. They both put in identical times in, and they're currently 4th and 5th, and they have pitted.
I think you'll find they are almost the leaders in 2nd place now. So yeah, it shows how much getting stuck behind Tocacello has really sort of has hindered him.
All eyes then on the Pons Racing, Adrian Valles of Spain, currently in 2nd place. Chandok, Karun Chandok of India, the man who replaced Narain Karthikeyan at the RC Motorsport setup, is in 3rd place, and this is his first year in the championship. He did 2 races last year and didn't qualify well. Somebody else stranded out there. Tocacello then, slip-sliding around this circuit and still in need of taking a pit stop. Last time out at 1:23.3. Now, is the Italian coming in this lap? We'll soon find out. They don't have indicators, but we'll soon find out if he goes straight on. And he doesn't. Over the hill he goes then.
Yeah, he's losing half a second a lap to Kubica, so, you know, he's if Jaap van Lagen came out in 3rd, really, from the guys that are pitted, he's going to be well down.
Valles did a 1:23.3 last time out, and there's no question that they are losing a lot of time, the top 3 men, because they're all in the 1:23s, hanging on to those tyres for dear life at the moment, because the men behind them are on the 1:22s, low 1:22s in the case of Van Lagen, a 1:22.3, and likewise for Péguigneux, the Frenchman.
Here we go, Tocacello's in the pits.
So then, the leader comes in. The Italian, winner of the first race. How quickly can his team get him out? Victory Engineering. Let's take a look at their pit stop.
I can see it on TV here.
Now, they have a choice, as we've said, of changing 2 tyres. They've decided to go with the front. Interesting.
I think the fronts, they seem to be a bit easier to get off. And, but, you know,
7.4, nothing wrong with that. That's as quick as you need.
But ultimately, it seems to be the rears that seem to be losing with.
Across the line comes Kubica, and he's leading the race in a moment.
Yeah, I think...
Kubica puts in a 1:22.4. There's Winkelhock.
Yeah,
Here comes Tocacello. So, Kubica leads from Tocacello, and Winkelhock takes third. So, what a change around this race has seen. Tocacello looking as though he had it all sewn up. Vives comes into the pits to take his pit stop. And now all of the top men have taken their pit stop, and the order...
Well, I think Yap must have made a mistake then in their pit stop, because ultimately we never got to see that on what he did. But you know, if Tocacello's come out there, Yap's been lapping consistently quicker than him, so you know he should have been in front of him. So there's obviously a mistake in the pits there.
Well, maybe a little bit longer than they wanted. I said it was his first ever pit stop, but it looked fairly clean. And in a moment, we'll get the full idea of exactly the order and the gaps after all the pit stops have been done. There is Adrian Valed. He too pitted and is back out there. We didn't see it, we were looking at Tocacello. But across the line comes Kubica, and he leads Tocacello by 3.4 seconds. So that is our race at the moment. Winkelhock is up to third. Marcus Winkelhock, number 18, 4.3 seconds down, and Van Lagen still fourth. Zuber, Andreas Zuber is fifth, and Paganio of France is sixth. Well done to Robert Kubica. Certainly one of the favourites before this weekend started. And he's done a brilliant pit stop there. There's Van Lagen. And there's Zuber. So Zuber starting to attack. Safety car is out. Now the whole race changes again. So there's been an incident and a safety car has been brought onto the circuit. And that will change poor old Robert Kubica. Having done it all right, he's now going to lose that 3-second gap to Tocacello. And Tocacello will be smiling somewhere, because that gives him another bite, and it gives us another chance to see a great cracking finish to this race. Still definitely. 9 laps to go, plenty left, and there's Karun Chandok. And in a moment,
especially as Tocacello's tyres are just brand new, and Kubica's been out there for a while now with his tyres, so it could actually fall Tocacello's way again.
Absolutely, and that's a brilliant point you make, because Robert Kubica's got 3 or 4 laps more on those tyres than Tocacello with that sprint effectively for the last 9 laps.
Yeah. So I think this could be a great showdown, really. You know, and also Yap, Van Lagen's, because Winkelhock and Kubica, they pitted pretty much at the same time. So there's 2 guys out there with fresh tyres and 2 guys out there with not so fresh tyres.
So then, to explain, safety cars come out on track. There is obviously some car or incident that has caused them to slow this race down, not stop it. The race continues, hence the reason you see the clicker board going down to 8 laps now. And the safety car will gingerly take these very fast 3.5-litre cars around this circuit. And until the incident is cleared, we won't be under any race conditions. But, of course, the gaps that had been formed have now all gone. So therefore, Kubica, who will control the race, remember, when the race restarts, or at least when the safety car comes off, will have one bite at it. We saw actually earlier on in the Formula Renault 2-litre series just exactly what you can do wrong at the safety car restart.
I couldn't believe it when I was watching, and you know, Junior Strauss in the just was asleep, I think. You know, Michael Amamula just decided I'm going to go, and I think he thought he was joking around. I mean, he had 8 seconds by the finish line. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it before.
But that is the key to the restart, and it is the man who leads who has control of that. And nobody can overtake him until he accelerates and goes away. And it's all about jumping that start, or getting that jump on everyone else at the start. So Kubica, Tocacello, Winkelhock is your top 3 at the moment. Van Lagen is 4th. Zuber, Andreas Zuber of Austria is 5th. Paganio of France is 6th. Valles drops to 7th. And here's another look at the original start. Will Power did not get much.
I think he was, he was just terrible off the start, wasn't he? There,
just a rotten start. Van Lagen come around the outside and almost got into 2nd, but Power managed to recover somehow. And what a rotten weekend it's been for Will Power.
We might get to see Will Power going off, mightn't we? A bit more of a picture than what we just saw, when we got to see.
Are you a homeowner who could benefit from an Ocean Finance loan or remortgage? Perhaps by consolidating your existing debts into just one manageable monthly repayment, home improving, or simply treating yourself to whatever you have in mind. Many already have.
I was that chuffed that morning I got up and there was a cheque on the floor.
No way could I hold my head above water without that immediate cash injection.
It meant that I could clear some of my debts off, which sort of made me sleep a little bit easier at night.
They can help, even if you think they can't.
I got myself into it. I got myself out of it with the help from Ocean Finance.
I'm really glad I made that call.
Ocean will consider most circumstances, and our rates are shown right now. So if you're a homeowner interested in raising some extra money, why not see what we have to offer? Call us free now on 0800 916 9150 or apply online at oceanfinance.co.uk. Ocean, helping people just like you.
Do you have zero no-claims bonus and want cheaper car insurance? Well, at last, there's car insurance for people with zero no-claims bonus. Bell. Look, I know it's hard to find cheaper car insurance when you have zero no-claims bonus, but Bell could save you up to £175. So, if you've got zero no-claims bonus, give us a bell on 0800 140 180. You've nothing to lose. Or save even more at bell.co.uk.
If you missed any of the live, heart-stopping action from the 3 BTCC main event races from Thruxton on Sunday, Monday, May the 2nd will be your opportunity to see all the door banging, all the passes, and some extraordinary touring car action. The replay from Thruxton, Monday, May the 2nd, from 8. This is what Tuesday night looks like right here on Motors TV. At 7:30, Inside Grand Prix ahead of round 5 from Barcelona. At 8, NASCAR Busch Series highlights from round 10, Talladega. And at 10, AMA Superbikes replay round 4 and 5 from Fontana.
We're showing you the highlights of the first part of this race, and it's far from over. Van Lagen in pursuit of Toccacelli early on, after willpower had gone off. There's the pit stop. Front tyres changed for Toccacelli. And it's interesting because he was sliding around before the pit stop, so I'm surprised they didn't change the rears. Because you presume, I don't know, that the sliding is caused by the fact that he's putting a lot of power down onto the rear tyres.
Exactly, you know, everything's going through those rear tyres, and you know, but it may be just the way the car's handle, you know, and you just got to. Your front tyres are more. You get more of an advantage from the front tyres than you do the rears.
So another look at Tedeschi going into the grass, and at the moment they're just passing our commentary position.
This is the worst time for a
I was going to say, what do you do? How do you deal with this? 'Cause this is hard. Your adrenaline's up there, your heart's beating, but you're going so slow.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I mean, that's pretty much why you see weaving around. I mean, yes, it does generate a little bit of heat in the tyres and things like that, but it's just to keep your concentration. And especially when it's so hot here, you can guarantee that some of the guys' water bottles and stuff like that won't be working, you know, now, or it'll just be warm water, and you'd be better off not even having any. And you know, you just got to keep plugging away, and you just got to remember, you know, just to sort of keep yourself aware, really. But it's just a terrible time as a driver to be behind the safety car, unless you've got a big problem with your car, and you know, you can just see those laps going down, thinking there is somebody looking after me.
Yeah, and you're putting a plan together as to how you're going to attack the man in front of you, but of course, several men behind you are doing exactly the same thing. So you've got to defend and attack exactly the same moment.
It's very, very difficult to get a good start to overtake somebody, you know, because ultimately everybody puts their foot down, and you know what it's like even on a road. You know, when you're behind a car and they put the accelerator down, you put your accelerator down, the gap appears, and that's it. You know, and 9 out of 10, especially here, there's chicane before the start line. So ultimately, oh my God, they're spinning on the safety car.
That's Van Lagen by the looks of
it.
What on earth was he doing out there? Well, grass tracking for the 4th place man.
I don't think he's going to be 4th anymore, is he?
He's not going to be 4th anymore because the race is still on, and safety car or no safety car, he's not overtaking, he's losing places.
Hey, that'll be a great disappointment for the team, and unless it's a mechanical failure, he'll get a serious talking to, I think, at the end of the race.
Well, he's still going. at the moment. Safety car still out there. Robert Kubica leading. Polish driver from the Euro Series, remember, Formula 3. And like a lot of these men, really looking forward to the chance of taking on this really, truly world-class field. Robert Kubica has been racing since 1995. He was 7th in the Euro Series last year. Has done Formula 3 in Spain and in the UK. You've seen him at Macau Grand Prix as well. He leads this field. Tocacello right behind him. Winkelhock ominously in that all-yellow car, number 18, looking for his day in the sun because it's been a rotten weekend so far. Zuber not out of it yet. We saw a great battle in race 1 for the lead. Zuber involved.
Yeah,
There's Van Lagen is in 12th
now.
position. Well, that is terrible. Chandok still in 13th, and Karim Chandok was actually one of the few people to somehow find places to overtake. He went from 23rd to 13th, so he's obviously got something that nobody else knows about, because there isn't that many places to overtake.
No, like I said, with these cars, I mean, on the screen here it doesn't look so bad, but you know, when you're driving it, they're big cars, and it'll be difficult to overtake. And like we said, especially with all the downforce and everything you lose from behind it, and you know, there's not. The only place really is that hairpin before the last corner, the last straight. That's the only chance where you've got a good overtaking move.
Well, we've got 16 cars left. Gomendi, Koska, Maldonado and Salignon also out. Will Power, of course, is out. Mondini is out. Pavlovich is also out. So we're down to 16. And the question is the safety car coming off? I'm pretty sure it will be. And what I can't understand is what the incident has caused the safety car to come out.
I think it's the car that's crashed into the pit lane that we saw about 4 or 5 laps ago.
Just in too dangerous a position
for
them not
so.
to take a pit stop, yeah. Because it's right on the braking point. If you out-brake yourself, you go straight into the back of him. When the lights go out on the safety car, then that will be the indication to Kubica that it is race time.
Yeah, it looks like I got another lap here.
Well, this weekend's pretty much had everything, and it's been a real success, it has to be said. Oh, what on earth is going on now?
I think the safety car has spun.
That is the first time I've ever heard. I've heard of the safety car crashing. I saw a BMW do that once, but I've never heard of that in my whole life. And well, what can you say?
Well, I think
the question is, did he hit Kubica? By the looks of things, no. But that's unheard of.
And it's coming off now. So obviously he's
I think the safety car is coming off, having done a pirouette. Robert Kubica leads this race and will decide when it starts again in anger. He comes up the start-finish line, and away they go then. Robert Kubica of Poland leads Tocacello. Through goes Winkelhock in 3rd place. Zuber looking up to make a place, locking up there completely. Zuber going through to 3rd place, and he holds it into 4th place, excuse me. So, well, this is how races had everything.
Yeah.
22 of the 27, it ain't over yet. Facuda, 10th, Portiero, Van Lagen still down in 12th, but he'll be the fastest man out there.
Look at Winkelhock, he's right on Tocacello, right on him.
5 laps to go.
Here, look, he's having to defend.
Winkelhock in the number 18 car from Germany. He touches him! He nudges him off, surely!
Here it goes, a yellow flag, but somebody's, there is an accident.
All sorts. Yeah, Winkelhock has got past. No, he hasn't.
No.
Well, he nudged him for sure then. Trauma did, and he has. He's nudged him off. Tocacello is off and out.
Zuber, I think, is in 2nd now.
Somehow, well, those two came together, and I think obviously Tocacello got the worst of it. Winkelhock got back out on track, and Zuber has zipped through to go through. So that's pretty super for him.
That's the 2 seconds at the moment for him, isn't it? He'll be leading it because Tocacello won the first race.
Unbelievable.
Like
so Andreas Zuber of Austria could be leading this race. Somebody else going slow there. That is car number 6, that Miguez, who's just parked it in the gravel and in the grass. The 2nd Pons racer, Adrian Valles. And across the line comes Kubica then, in the lead. Miguez is out of this. 2nd is Zuber, and Winkelhock somehow has managed to hold on to 3rd place. Paganot goes across the line in 4th position. Simon Paganot of France and the Solinaire Racing Team. The Solinaire Racing Team, plenty of experience in that team. Well, Robert Kubica, everybody said he'd be good here this weekend, but I don't think he expected it this way. He had to fight with the safety car. Yellow flag still being shown for Tocolcello's incident, which was just after this point, and Kubica puts in a 1:21.4, and again, fastest lap, remember, is worth points. So Kubica on his way to making some extra points here. Zuber, though, as you quite rightly point out, is going to be leading the championship.
And he started from 10th on the grid, so he's had a fantastic race so far. You know, just being in the right place at the right time, making the pit stop at the right time, and yeah, he's had a fantastic. Great.
It's so true. In the right place at the right time. It's true in motor racing, it's true in life. And he's taken advantage when he could. And the scoring goes all the way to the top 10, remember. 15 points for a win, 12 for second, 10 for third. So Kubica at the moment headed for 15 points. Zuber, well, more than 15 points because he's got the fastest lap at the moment, a 1:21.4. So across the line comes the pole, Robert Kubica. Behind him, Andreas Zuber of Austria.
Oh! That's a big shot there.
Big off there here at Zolder. And that car's disappeared almost into the parking lot. That was the last but one. That's the Jochen Rindt curb. And that is a very late.
He's gone up the escape road there.
He's gone up the escape road. There's not a lot of escape road there, I may add.
No, definitely not. But yeah, I think you'll find there'll be a safety car out fairly rapidly, I think, for that, just to get him out of that.
Well, this race could finish under safety. Winkelhock locking up, sliding sideways there, trying to get all the power down as he heads over the hill. Down towards Villeneuve. In pursuit of Andreas Zuber. But Kubica still leads this race.
Yeah, look at that.
Unbelievable.
I think that car's on top of the other one, isn't it? There's two cars there.
That is not what I want to see at all.
Yeah, look, see, there's a silver one first, and then...
Well, let's hope both of those two are okay, but this weekend we've had some very dramatic crashes all the way from first qualifying. Here's another look at what happened.
Oh, yeah, that's...
He obviously must have hit the back of the car in front, and away they both went.
I can't believe there's not been a safety car or something. I know it's off the track, but it's still in a dangerous position. And
well, the race director feels that it isn't necessarily going to affect them dealing with the problem, and it is in a relatively away from the track situation, so they can certainly get to him quite easily.
Red flag, look, red flag.
Well, there it is, red flag, and that's the result then. Kubica, Zuber and Winkelhock, the top three. And I think Wesley Barber called it quite rightly there. You can't carry on racing in a situation where there is a possibility that the driver could be hurt. We'll give you information on that as soon as we get it. Kubica, Zuber, Winkelhock, Peganyao in fourth, Bassini getting fifth place, Valles in sixth, Pile seventh, Fukuda eighth, Portiero ninth. Van Lagen did make up a couple of places. Karun Chandok in 11th place, just finishing out of the points, and a good finish also for the 18-year-old Vavish of Belgium, taking 12th place overall. But, well, catch your breath, that had everything. I've never seen a safety car caught out.
No, me neither, especially in the dry. You know, the only time that I remember Ollie Gavin having to drive around, I think it was in Monaco, or it was one of the circuits that it was extremely wet, and they were impressed to see how quickly he was driving. But there's no excuses for that in these conditions. I mean, it's
not really.
So I think he'll be a bit embarrassed, and I think he'll have a bit of explaining to do to the officials of what he was doing.
Well, the crowd certainly got a good weekend's racing for that, and Robert Kubica, I'm probably sure he'll be one of the most surprised men to know that he's won. Well, he knows he's won it, but don't think he was expecting to do it from where he was. He didn't have the best of starts to the race, but those pit stops did make the difference in the end. And into Parc Fermé they come then. And Zuber, well, what a weekend. Yeah, and his team are all thumbs up. Andreas Zuber. Well, there you go. There are the highs and lows of racing, because Carlin Racing have one man probably feeling the worst he's ever felt, Will Power, in his first weekend for the team. A problem that wasn't his, a drive shaft in the first race, and a problem that definitely was his in the fourth corner, where he went off while in second place. Meanwhile, Zuber has
look at Zuber over there with his dad.
Yep. comes from Zeltweg in Austria, just by the A1 circuit. Nice little town too. And just a confirmation then. The pole from the Austrian, Robert Kubica, then Andreas Zuber. Winkelhock of Germany, Marcus in 3rd place, Simon Pagenaud of France, and then Damien Passini in 5th place. So the French getting 4th and 5th. And a good spread of the countries here. It really is an international crowd, this. And then further down, Adrian Valles gets another good result for Spain. That's 2 good results for him. Patrick Pilet of France, 7th. Rui Fukuda taking 8th position, returning to racing. That's a good result for him because he hasn't tested and isn't as fit as he wants. Karun Chandok, amazing really. His first race, well, his 3rd race for the RC Motorsport team, and just out of the points, the young 20-year-old. And well done to Vivesh as well. There's Winkelhock. Cool, calm German. Been around the block.
Yeah, he knows his stuff, doesn't he? His surname says it all, really, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes, if you've got the name Winkelhock, you can go a long way in motor racing. And in a moment, we'll have a bit of champagne spraying. Got a feel for Enrique Tococello, though, and I wonder if the stewards will make any inquiry into that, because how would you call that? Because Winkelhock was...
Well, yeah, it looked a little bit naughty, I think, from Winkelhock, but you never quite know until you're actually in that position. But it definitely looked like he gave him a little bit of help to get him out of his way. But you know, he'll be disappointed as anything, because Zuber managed to get them both, didn't he? So you know, it'll be interesting to see. I think there probably will be a bit of a discussion, and it'll just depend on their explanations.
You've got to presume that the Victory Engineering team will definitely say something to the stewards about that, because he was out there doing nothing wrong, and you know, it's taken his whole weekend away, really.
Well, yeah, ultimately, you know, he's lost the lead of the championship because of that. I know it's only the 1st round, but yeah, I think Winkelhock might get a bit of a slap wrist, but we'll just have to wait and see, really. And I know the stewards take a fair while over their decision, so I don't think you're going to know much before probably 8-9 o'clock tonight.
So then, a delighted Robert Kubica takes to the podium ahead of Zuber and Winkelhock. Kubica in the Euro Series, as we said, last year in Formula 3, and equipping himself beautifully here in these 425 horsepower cars. So no worries that the change in power is made, and in fact a lot of them say that it's certainly comparable. It's faster, but there's more brakes, and it feels quite simple to make that transition from Formula 3 to the World Series.
Yeah, I mean the car has got an awful lot of downforce, so you know that's where Formula 3 is always a bit special. Is it's got an awful lot of a grip to its power, but obviously these is the next step up. You know, you've got pretty much. I know they're a big car, but you know they've got a lot of downforce, a lot of high-speed cornering abilities, and they've got the straight line speed. So yeah, it should be ideal, I think, for a transition.
Winkelhock celebrating that 3rd place, and there could be some controversy over that. Says his favourite driver is his father, not surprisingly. Kubica says he likes Fisichella, and he's following in his footsteps at the moment. And what it would mean to Poland to get somebody up there. We've seen some great Austrians in motorsport, and we could be looking at another one. Andreas Zuber, Nicky Lauda's son, of course, out there at the moment. And Nicky himself, brilliant around this circuit, back in the 70s.
It's a bit before my time, that one.
Ah, well.
Yeah, you've got to give it to Kubica to coming in early, doing those laps, and just driving fantastic, really.
And you know, in 2004, he was only 7th in the Formula 3 European Series, so you know, he didn't really change the world on that. So I think if he can really make his name here, he could start to get people to notice. And as I said before, you know, in Poland, motor racing is not up there with football anywhere near. Or a few other sports. The major sport, the highest paid sportsman in Poland is a speedway star.
Yeah.
Thomas Golub.
yeah, sure.
So this man could really make some waves.
Oh, definitely. You know, if he carries on like this, you know, he's got a good team behind him. Epicillion, you know, and he keeps doing this. Oh, here you go.
So overall standings,
Kubica's lead.
Kubica is leading with 27 points. Andreas Zuber has 24 points. And a little further down, Gomendy will be disappointed. Thought this weekend was going to be a much better weekend for him. Van Lagen, what could have been, you might think. Will also be interesting to see the teams championship as well. And Alex Danielson, latest on him, he didn't race, of course, broke his ankle in qualifying. Colin Fleming likewise destroyed his car in the same incident, he was out. So then let's go down and hear from the top three.
Robert. Please, Marcus, stay. Thank you. So Robert, what a great race. Okay. Ready, this. So Robert, what a great race for you, and great pit stop strategy.
Yeah, well, we before the race we don't have even the strategy. We would like to see what's going on the race. We decided to stop. My team manager decided to stop early as possible, and this is, I think, was a good move, really good move. Then I was worried about safety car because 6-7 laps to the end, safety car comes, so all group was again together. But then Tocacello with Marcus make some mistakes, and I go away just. Really good job. We were, disappointed about qualifying, but after the race results, I think we should be really happy.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, Andreas, come on. Nice race too for the race, the second race of the day. 2 times on the podium and 2 times second.
Yeah, it was a great race. I mean, I started from 10. I did a perfect start, perfect pit stop. Thank you to the crew because they did just perfect stop. And yeah, finished second again. And I'm very happy for that.
Thank you very much, Andreas. Now we're gonna see Marcus. Marcus, you had some technical problems this morning for the first race, and now it's a great race for you with a good strategy.
Yeah, actually, I think the result is quite okay. The car was really fantastic at the end, a little bit oversteer, but everybody had the same problem. And yeah, the race was quite good in the morning. Like you said, I had the problem with the gearbox. Now it was okay. Just at the end, a little bit of problem, but the car was feeling good, and I'm quite happy to be on the podium on the first race weekend.
Thank you very much, Marcus.
So then, the words of the top three of the second race of the World Series by Renault. A cracking race it was. It had everything. And at the beginning, Will Power was thrown backwards almost by bogging off the line, giving Tocacello the advantage. Van Lagen earlier as well. My thanks to Wesley Barber for joining me. Best of luck in your season ahead.
Thank you.
And, well, I think if this weekend has set the precedent, we've got a cracking year ahead of great racing at the very top level here in the World Series by Renault. Next up, it's Monaco. From me, Jonathan Green. Until then, bye-bye for now.